All right. I don't know if you guys have noticed, right? But I have put out 1, 2 hour, 2.5, sometimes almost 3 hour, 4 hour classes up, right? Every day. Okay? Every day. Reading straight through from Exodus chapter 20 all the way up now we have Deuteronomy chapter 26, straight through, giving the breakdowns and explanations just from the law. This is the definitions from the law. I translate some words because they got some fancy words in here in English, and we need to stop pretending that we know what words in English mean like this our native language, when it's not. So I have to get the definitions. When I get the definitions, I can see what the text is talking about and what the lawful definition of that word is, because it's phrased and defines itself.
Yes.
So if there's a funny word, what is that word? I look that up. That word is supposed to mean this. Well, let me read what the law and see how the law phrases it.
Yes.
And what the definition the law gives, and apply that to the word now that I understand what it's saying. So, in working on all of this material, we're rounding it up. Okay? So, tomorrow is the close, right? It'll be the 7th day of the Feast of Trumpets. We're going to continue with the reading of the law, okay? It'll be the last video where the trump will be sounded. The last one, okay? I'm going to remove the trumpet playing off the end of the video, okay? So now, that's the end of the Festival of Trumpets, right? We got, after that day, the 7th day, after tomorrow, the Shabbat, I got one day, a full day and a night to prepare. And then in the next day, in the nighttime, I'm going into atonement. Right? So we're going to continue reading, and I'm going to double up now. Right?
Yes.
We're doing 2 a days now.
Yes.
So you're going to see 2 classes posted from now until we finish the book. So I can go into atonement and rest with peace, right? I don't want to be up here having to talk, having to read, with cotton mouth, because you can't drink, you can't nothing. I'm going to observe atonement because you know what? I have entered the land, so I'm going to keep it according to its rights. Okay? What I can do. Right? Not according to what you can do. All right? And when you have entered into the land, would you look at that?
Yeah.
When you have entered into the land, which Yah, thy Allah, giveth you for an inheritance, and you possess and dwell in it. So now you got to buy the land. To possess it, you have the rights, the documentation. It's not an apartment. It's not a rental. You own it.
Yes.
Which Yah thy Allah giveth you for an inheritance, and you possess it, and you're living on it. You shall take the earliest first fruits which are ripe at the beginning of all the produce of the ground, which thou ingatherest from the land, which Yah, your Allah, has given you, and put them into a basket. And go unto the place which Yah, your Allah, will choose, that his Shekinah may dwell there. All right, so let's start getting into this. Okay? So we're going to go, and that first year, first of all, since I've already read this, I could say it now, right? You're supposed to buy land with the fruit trees already on it.
I was thinking the very same thing when I was sitting here waiting for us to set up.
That's
I was
what
like,
they,
it's talking about right now.
yeah,
At this moment of where we are, it's talking to us today. This wasn't for them.
It says buy land with the fruits and vegetables or buy the farms.
Yeah.
And go live on the farm.
Yes.
Okay? Buy the farm and live on the farm. When you have bought the farm and you're living on the farm, the first fruit that gets ripe, bring it in. It's not like the very first one, I'm bringing in 5 oranges. No, all the first fruit of the first few years, bring it in. Why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. No, you're doing this because as a community, we have to buy and sell and trade because it may not, the ground will not, we will not have a large enough possession to be self-sufficient like we grow everything yet.
Right.
You just got here. Right?
Right.
You just got here. So we may have olive fields, we may have other fields, and then other fields may not be sowed or planted on as of yet. So everything has to be brought in. Oh. To give it to the priest, and he's going to put them in what? He says, put them into a basket. Okay. We're going to put some in a basket. Is he going to lift up every basket? No. Because what we collect gets rounded up and put it in storage. We're going to bring a basket. One. And we go into the place that Yah chose. So now you have to understand the difference between the main headquarters and where everybody else is. Because we're buying multiple farms in an area. You see? You understand that?
I sure do.
Multiple farms in one area. So everybody has to go to the place where the high priest is. Okay?
And the steps. Look at the steps. I know you have been repeating this for weeks. And I know a lot of people sitting there watching and think you're crazy. But listen to the steps. And when you have entered into the land, so you gotta come into the land, which Yah, thy Allah, giveth you. This is how he's giving it to us. Well, how? As an inheritance. By possessing it and dwelling in it. It's not, he's going to kill everybody and it's yours. No, you have to first come. Make sure you send the monies first so we can be making the provision. Okay? You got to come. You got to enter into the land.
Yeah.
Then you have to understand this is our inheritance because see, he already gave where we're going to have the farms. He already gave it to our ancestors.
Let me tell you.
He already gave it to Reuben and them.
We have already helped people get their 5-year visas. My sister helped. She got hers first. She helped me get mine. And now we're helping other people. And I just got, a message back a couple days ago. And people are showing me like they got their 5-year stamps. So I know there's some coming out.
Yeah.
Right? We'll help you to come out. If you just want to just get your little visa, you can get your visa. Now, don't expect there to be no place to stay. You ain't paid for it yet, though. Now, you come out here and you start renting, you a fool. It's foolish to do that. To come out and then just start renting. Okay? It's wise to send ahead, and because we have to buy everything
Right.
together.
Right.
Okay? The first farms we built will have housing on them, and we have to move into those.
Yes.
It has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the steps. So you see that.
We gotta buy. It says possess. We have to buy it and we have to dwell in it. We have to live on that which we buy, not go to somebody else's land and rent out and pay them rent.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way it's to be done.
And you shall put crowns upon the baskets, the hampers, and paper cases. Now, if you don't know what these are, right? A basket, these are all like wicker. They're woven.
Right.
So if you ever seen like those little wicker baskets, the little fruit baskets, you get these little it can be plastic, it can be paper, it can be made out of palm trees, or you weave up the palm and you make a bag. Okay? But it's made from typically natural materials. Okay? And bring them to the priest appointed to be chief priest in those days.
That's why we know it's for today.
Right.
For our priests today.
Right.
Not for it back then, because they already knew who the priest was at that.
time.
It was already appointed for that time.
Right. So,
oh my goodness.
So bring them to the priest to be appointed chief priest in those days, and shall say to him, we acknowledge this day before Yah thy Allah, that we have come into the land which Yah swore unto our fathers to give us. And the priest shall receive the basket of the early fruits from thy hand. Take and bring it. Okay, so he's going to have a little earthen altar. And bring it and uplift it and lower it. And afterward lay it down before the altar of Yah your Allah. So this is the earthen altar. The priest don't need the tabernacle to function. Rabbi Sheikh, how you know? Because I made an altar before. And the Most High accepted it then, and I prospered then. Now I'm here to bring you back by the hand. I'm literally holding your hand to come on into the land. So I'm doing the work. I've already made the connections. Now the only thing you got to do is give and come. 2 steps. Give and come. Now in between those 2 steps, there's a lot of little stuff you got to pack. You got to get your paperwork done, your passports. You got to pay for your plane tickets. But it's only 2 major steps you're doing. Give and come. That's it. That's the 2 big steps. You have to give and you have to come. And when you come, you have to give. You have to work so you can give. So when you get here, you will be doing farm work. That's all we got for you. Because we have to give the priest to be appointed chief priest in our days. We have to give him the baskets of the first fruit to hold up before the altar of Yah. So you know that this is springtime.
Yes.
Right? Or it could be fall. It does say ingathering. Let's see when you come out. It could be this time. It could be fall. Because the Feast of Ingathering is in the fall. I told you the Passover in the fall. So let's see when you come. I told you they was going to be here in the fall.
Yes.
I've said it a number of times, right?
Many a time.
Let's see.
What happens.
Could be springtime.
Yes.
But let's see when you come. Because whatever it comes, the season you come in, and whatever we work for, it'll be that season's fruit. Okay?
Yes, it's definitely for this time. Because it's the land that was sweared, which means it's already been possessed before. Somewhere we lost it, and now we're coming back to it. It's like a celebration of our return back here. Oh my goodness.
So, after the priest does this uplifting and putting it on the ground, we respond and say, now, guess what? I don't expect y'all to know it, but we have books for a reason. This is why it's an open book test. The part you don't remember, we don't do too often, bring the book and we can do it with the book. It's a book.
Yes.
You see, my sister have the book. It's an open book test. So the priest you shall respond. The priest lifts the basket up, puts it down. You respond and say, and we say, before Yah, our Allah, our father Jacob, Yaqub, went down to Aram Nahariya. This is on the border of the Euphrates. At the beginning, and Laban, Balaam, Bileam. Laban sought to destroy him, but the word of Yah saved him out of his hands. And afterwards went he down into Mitzrayim, the west, and sojourned there. A few people, but there did he become a great people, mighty and many. So a few people went down into 70 exactly. 70. Okay? A few people went into Mitzrayim, and they came out many, millions, and mighty. So from 70 people, they bred up a storm.
And then here it mentions about Laban. And here today, a lot of you are still caught up with the trap that Laban had set, is why in Micah it tells us to remember about what happened with, Laban, Balaam. Yeah. So you can see this is definitely about today. As you always say, today.
But the Mitzrayim, the Westerners, it's supposed to say the Egyptians. Well, if it wanted to say the Egyptians, it would say that. But Mitzrayim is actually
the west.
They went down to the west. They went down to Mitzrayim. Okay? So the Westerners evil treated and afflicted us and laid heavy bondage upon us.
Sounds very familiar.
Okay? But we prayed before Yah, our Allah, and Yah hearkened to our prayers, our afflictions, and our travail, and our oppression was manifest before him. And Yah brought us out of Mitzrayim with a mighty hand and a lifted up arm, and with great visions. See that? Great visions, signs, and wonders. And brought us into this place and gave us this land, a land of fruits, rich as milk, and sweet as honey. So it's talking about food. No, I'm serious. Food. Now therefore, behold, I have brought the firstlings of the fruit of the land which thou hast given me, O Yah. And thou shalt lay them before Yah, thy Allah, and worship and rejoice in all the good which Yah thy Allah giveth thee, thou and the men of thy house, and enjoy and eat, you, the Levites, and the sojourners who are among you. So you see where the singing and dancing come?
After we have the land, after we have raised
You understand?
fruits, and it's after, not before.
What
After.
are we partying about? You birthday? Nobody care about your birthday. You want to know why? You've done nothing. Abraham have a birthday, you don't observe it. And that's a law. You don't even know when it is. The Muslims do. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers. I know you know because Ishmael keeps that day.
Yep.
And on that day, we not only celebrate Abraham, but we have to celebrate Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, all the forefathers. Is the one day we have to make sacrifice. And it's whenever Ishmael says it is.
Because they keep it.
It's appointed to them. You have to know where the right sits. So when they say we celebrating it on this day, it's this day. I don't care. We don't have the right to say because we don't have an instruction for the day. We don't have an instruction for the day. And you too dumb to think up one on your own. You can't even find your way back home to buy your own land. You still trying to buy land in the land of your captivity. I'm going to buy a house in New Mexico. It's Mexico, but it's new.
Then they're running to the mountains.
No problem. All right. When you make an end of tithing all the 10th of your produce in the third year. So we don't start tithing till the third year. So the first year you get here, we're bringing in everything. But I guarantee you, by the time this be, right, they get here, they're talking about, I may be on the land already, and they just not getting here from whatever the situation is, out of whatever happens. Right? So from the first year you get the land, you have to start giving up the first fruit.
Right.
But you don't tithe it till the third year.
Right. Because too, when we read back, I think it was in Leviticus, when it
says the same thing.
It says
in the third year. In the third year. Okay.
But the part, the first fruits that go to the priest in Leviticus, it stated when the fourth year of the fruits come, that's when you give to the priest. But here it says in the first year, that's why you know that they're talking about today. That in Leviticus was for them then.
So when
this is for today.
When you make an end of tithing all the 10ths of your produce in the third year, which is the year of release, you shall give the first 10th to the Levites, the second 10th. Remember I told you, I said, y'all think I'm crazy, but it'll come up. I told you this when we discussed tithing. The second 10th, which is the tithe of the poor, to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow, that they may eat in your cities and be satisfied. You see, so the widow, the orphan, and the poor, they have a set portion on our land. So we have one tithe is the Levites, and one tithe to the widows, the orphans, and the poor. Now there is a second tithe because the Levite gets 2, and you say he gets 2. Yeah, that tithe is for you to
Yep.
eat when you are with the Levites.
Yeah, we read that before.
So the poor have their portion. The Levite have his portion. When I'm with the Levite, there is an additional portion there for me that I don't eat all of his portion. 12 nations come to eat one nation portion.
Makes no sense.
All right, we'll be back. All right, so now you know this. I said before there's 3 tithes. So there's the first tithe that goes to the Levites that is for the Levites. There is a second tithe. The second tithe is for the people when they come up during festivals. For when you come up in the festivals, that you don't have to carry food with you. The Levite prepare a double portion is enough for them and you because they have 2 tithes. So they prepare enough for everybody for the festival days. That's so you can just come and observe the second tithe. The third tithe is the corner of the field you left that you didn't harvest, and whatever's left on the trees, which is for the stranger, the widows, and the orphans when they come to glean. Okay? That's why they pick for the day. They don't go there and harvest up everything, but they pick for the day, and they have plenty, and there's enough. And with it being on the tree, it remains fresh and right every day. Unlike when you harvest it and put it in the store, if you don't eat it in a couple of days, it goes bad and people don't eat. So we live on the farm so that we don't have to pluck it out to eat it. It's already maintained alive in nature. I have to explain that. You know that's just the same. Here we go. But the 3rd tenth you shall bring up and eat. The 3rd tenth you shall bring up and eat. The 3rd tenth you shall bring up and eat before Yah thy Allah, and thou shalt say, Behold, we have set apart the consecrations from the house. So when you come here, this is a house. It's only one house until the others come whose right it is to build their houses. So right now, everybody's coming into the house of David. This is what we're building. It's a bunch of farms, a community. This is the beginning of that house. However, this house will not remain here. This will transfer. So while it's under the house of David's rulership, the authority will transfer to whoever right it is to have this house when I depart to build the next house. I don't know how people think stuff get built. I don't think they know. All right. So we have set apart the consecrations from the house. The house keeps 70%. The rest goes to everybody else. And I also have given the first tithe to the Levites, the second tithe to the strangers, the fatherless. So an orphan is not that he don't have no father or mother. It's just fatherless. No father, orphan. Fatherless, orphan. The key integral figure in a child's life is his father. Not discrediting the mothers and what they provide. We all love and care and nurture and everything. But the key integral figure to a child's life is his father. Okay? and the widow. Okay, the woman without a husband. So the woman without a husband, or the husband has died. The husband has died.
Mm-hmm.
That child of that woman is an orphan.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a widow. Mm-hmm. According to the commandments which thou hast commanded me. So now I understand that this is a commandment to me. You should feel the same and say me, because it says me. So the understanding is it's giving you the language and the wording from your perspective, from your reasoning, by your mind. This is appropriate to me.
That's right.
I have not transgressed one of thy commandments, nor have I forgotten. Your viewpoint should be, I have not transgressed one of the commandments. I have not broken one law, neither or, right? I haven't done that, or have I forgotten any of thy commandments. But you have forgotten. I have to sit here and talk for hours on end because you have forgotten. This class is not reading the law and we keeping the culture on the land in our farms. No, this is a class of foundations. I have to read and teach you, so you have forgotten. You, not me.
Right.
I have not forgotten. You have.
That's right, because we are the ones that made the covenant, the agreement to do it and keep it.
So I have not eaten of it in the days of my mourning. So in the days of mourning, this is two parts. One, you don't take from it, because what you do in our mourning, we set up the tent of mourning and you sit in it for 7 days, and everybody must come by and sit with you and pay respects, and you have to feed everybody. And you have to have dates and coffee and tea and maybe some beverages and some water, and you give everybody a plate. Okay? Typically, it's usually around 2 meals a day, usually lunch and dinner, and that's it.
Yeah, they don't come feed you.
You got to come to the tent, and you have to feed the people that come to mourn with you and to, pay their respects to the person. And we have the prayers every meal. They pray with you, so you're not alone, and you have this tent of support. So we have the tent of mourning, which is set up. The next thing about not eating of it in the days of mourning, when you are in mourning, you cannot come to the Shabbats and the stuff and eat at the Shabbats. Because the priests are making it, and it's holy, and you can't eat it the same way the priests can't eat it when they are in mourning. You can eat whatever you got fixed at home. Stay home and lie down.
Right.
You're mourning. Because you can't eat of what is prepared for the Shabbat. Okay? Also, you'll be unclean because you just buried a person. You're unclean for 7 days. So you don't come in, so you can't eat of it. Next, nor separate from it for the unclean. So I don't take from the 30% to give to a family member who is unclean in the care of the priest. That's not for that. That's a separate thing. I have to give from my own percentage to give for the unclean person in the care of the priest because they're unclean. They in isolation. So when your people go into the hospital, you have to provide them with food. You have to give a portion to sustain them.
Right. And that portion.
It's not like the hospitals here where they overcharge you for finding the food, making the food, nutritionalizing. No. You bring it and you put it there. Okay?
Right. And that's given from your 70%, not from the 30% that we've already put aside for the others.
So neither have I given of it A covering for the soul of the dead. So now the covering of the soul of the dead is what I just explained. The person dies and you serve and give free food on that person's behalf. It can be, usually the minimum is a week. They put the tent up, the tent of mourning goes up for 7 days, right? So because you bury, the person passes, you bury them on the first day, you put the tent up on the first day, and you take the first meal on the first day. That's the whole first day. And then it stays up for 7 more days. So it depends on how popular the person was, and when I say popular, like the tent stay up 7 days, but it can be up for 7 days, and close family will meet with you because the person was very young. He wasn't very well known in the community, and it's a small, intimate thing. Right. It can also be the person was, a child that was loved throughout the community. He was outgoing and whatever it is, it's not everybody will come and a lot of people will come and pay their respects, but everybody may not come eat with you.
Right.
Okay. So when somebody dies, the saying is you have to go pay your respects, even if it's just one time during the week. They don't have to come every day.
Right.
They can, but they don't have to.
Right.
They have to come. Everybody has to come pay their respects once in a week. We have hearkened to the word. We have hearkened to the voice of the word. So I don't know. Do you read? Do you hear a voice when you read? No, I do. I hear a voice when I read, but neither here nor there. The voice of the word. You read the words, you comprehended the words, and you obeyed the instruction of the word of Yah, the instructions. The voice of the word of Yah, written down right here. Our affliction and our travail and our oppression. Wait a minute.
No, go back to 14.
Yeah, I done hit the button. I touched the screen.
26:14.
Yeah. I have done, so we have hearkened to the voice of the word of Yah, and I have done according to all that thou hast commanded me.
Oh, when you were saying hearken, I was thinking about.
Now the word, you know what hearken means?
Yeah, it means to obey, not to hear.
You heard it and you did it to completion.
Yes.
So you heard it, you did it, you completed it. Hearkened.
Yes.
Not just, I heard you.
Right. That's when I said no. It's not just hearing, no. Literally obeying the word is what I am doing. Yeah. Because I've had a bad habit of just hearing.
Just listening.
And it got me nowhere.
Right. So now you listen, you're going to make sure you have to do.
Yes.
Okay? Look down from heaven. So there's no outer space? No. Okay. Look down from heaven, from the habitation of thy glory, of thy holiness, and bless thy people Israel, and the land which thou hast given to us, as thou didst swear unto our fathers, a land of fruits, rich as milk, and sweet as honey. Fruit.
Said fruit and said land.
Land and fruit. Right. So we talking about farming.
Yeah.
We talking about food.
Yes.
Now I like food.
I do too.
I'm gonna get some food.
Yes.
I'm gonna have me some food.
And not just we the people.
No.
It's land and food with this.
You got to possess it. You're going to have to buy it.
Oh, goodness.
You got to take witnesses and money and buy it and seal unto it. That means you need to have the money in full when you go buy it so that it's signed off.
And when it says rich as milk and sweet as honey, is mean the soil being rich.
Mm-hmm. The soil is rich. The fruit of the soil is rich. The plant is rich.
That's what's like milk and honey.
It's not.
It's the soil, the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, help us.
Now, here's my favorite part.
Yes.
This day. Today.
No, tomorrow.
No. Today.
No, the future.
No, today.
So while they're hearing this.
Yes. Today. Okay. Does Yah, our Allah, our God, command you to perform these statutes and judgments which you shall observe and do with all your heart and with all your soul. So today, the Most High is commanding you.
So if you ain't doing this,
you disobeying the commandments, you rebels. Yah has confessed you with one confession in the world this day, for so it is written. So today, hear, O Israel. Yah, our Allah, is one Yah, that he may be thy Allah, and that thou mayest walk in ways that are right before him, and keep his statutes, commandments, and judgments, and be obedient unto his word.
So there's steps to these things. There are things you gotta do it, and you gotta do them all. You just can't do one and not do this one.
Right.
You gotta do them all. Just like, with a husband covenant to his wife, he gotta give food, adornment, and sexual pleasure. He gotta do them all. He gotta do all three. So here you gotta do all this because we're in covenant with us.
You gotta do them all. You can't not do unless there is an instruction. Someone has given rise to the occasion to not perform something that is covenanted to them. So this is a law, right? Everything is reciprocal. Okay? You are entitled to this with this agreement and with this action. Now you have to maintain these actions to continue to receive it.
Yes.
Right? If you want fruit, you have to own land and you have to plant seed. Sometimes every year, sometimes you just have to make sure you are watering in a timely manner.
Right. And these instructions tell you where you're supposed to do it.
They do. And the word of Yah does acknowledge and honor you with one acknowledgement in the world today.
This day. Oh,
this
my
day.
goodness.
Today. As it is written, who is as thy people Israel, a peculiar people upon the earth. Wait a minute. What is peculiar?
Yes. They love using that word.
Different to what is normal or expected. Strange.
We are
No, no, hold
peculiar
on, hold on,
people.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait a minute.
Mm,
So when I said that the sisters have to get together and purge themselves of their filth, and
yes,
then the sisters can pick a husband, any man they want, and that man either take them or he lose his inheritance.
inheritance.
That's strange.
Strange. Yes,
That's
it is.
strange,
Yes,
right? And it takes 7 sisters to perform this right at this
yes.
time because the sisters are coming back as baby mothers,
Mm-hmm.
widows, and with a bunch of orphans,
Yes,
fatherless children,
yes. Mm-mm. That's right.
right? And it's all on account of the sins of the people that they consented to
Yeah.
together. So that's peculiar. Keeping this law, giving your money to buy land and be governed yourself on private property, that's peculiar. Yeah, it sure is. That's peculiar. Y'all out there being normal.
Well, we supposed to be peculiar.
You supposed to be peculiar keeping this law in modern times. We supposed to be riding donkeys and camels and horses, but y'all want to drive around in fancy cars.
Oh, my.
I'm not saying you can't have a car, but you're supposed to have the donkeys, camels, and horses too. You're supposed to be shepherding in modern times. That's peculiar. No, you want to be normal. You want to keep your jobs. You're supposed to be giving back home too. I'm sitting here. The full establishment is waiting. The foundation is laid. I did my part. You fail to do yours at every turn. It's not me. This day of atonement, I'm letting it be said. It's on you. It's on you. It's not on me. I did my part. And I'm still sitting here waiting for you to decide when you're going to become the people of the Most High. Not know that you're the people. Everybody knew you were the people. There was one nation of people missing from the face of the earth, the Israelites. The Ishmaelites are here. The sons of Esau is here. The sons of Lot is here. Moab is here. Ammon is here. Everybody is here. You the only one missing. You the only one scattered all over the world and in captivity and don't know how to find your way back home. You the one trying to figure it out, and everywhere is Israel. America is the land of Israel. South America is the land of Israel. Africa is the land of Israel. And the people in those places look at you like, you so dumb. Look at you. Aren't you dumb? This is supposed to be the Most High's people. How can it be that they kicked out their land? And this is people. They have talent to the wazoo, but they are dumb. They cannot get themselves together for nothing. Yeah, that's you. That's your sin. This is you. This is not me. I had to get up from here. I had to accept the rebuke. I had to accept the words. I had to accept the condemnations and get up.
19.
So, who is as thy people, a peculiar people upon the earth, to be to him a people beloved, as he has said unto you, and that you may obey all his commandments. So, without the obeying of the commandments, there's no peculiarity about you. And because you don't know the details, you don't know the customs, you don't know the traditions, you can't find customs and traditions in the book. No book ever contains customs and traditions. It can tell you aspects, little things, certain things, but when you live it and it's every day, that's the only way a custom survives. It doesn't survive any other way. So when you obey all his commandments, he will set you on high and exalt you above all the peoples he hath made in greatness and with a name of glory and splendor, that you may be a people holy before Yah your Allah as he has spoken. So it requires buying the land, farming, and giving the fruit in its time, in its season, and following the procedures of growth and development to be a nation, a people before him, beloved. So the proof is in the pudding.
Right. We may know that we are the people, but we are not the people as of yet.
All right. So that's the closing. And it is what it is. It said what it said. And I just want you to understand. You know what I'm saying? I may come back and continue. I'm going to just check on my time and see how we're doing. And I get into some 27 so we can continue to push forward. We'll be back.
Wow.
All right. Continuing on with chapter 27. Diving right in. And Musa and the elders instructed the people, saying, observe all the commandments which I command you this day. So now I'm sitting in Musa's chair, saying the same thing. Observe all the commandments which I have commanded you today.
Yes.
Okay? Now I've been giving out and done this over months. Observe them today. And it shall be on the day that you pass over Jordan. So we have to pass Jordan. We pass Jordan now. They had to pass Jordan then. It's the same, right? You have to pass over Jordan. Okay? Joshua did not pass Jordan. What?
Right.
Joshua didn't pass Jordan. I have to pass Jordan. Joshua made it to the Jordan. Joshua is buried right here in Jordan.
Yes.
So I'm here to pick up right where Joshua leaveth. Right here. Here we go. To pass Jordan. Into the land which Yah your Allah giveth you, that you shall erect for you great stones, and plaster them with lime. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law when you go over to enter the land which Yah your Allah giveth you, a land whose fruits are as rich as milk and producing honey. And Yah Allah of your fathers has said to you. Here's what the Most High says. When you pass over Jordan, you shall erect stones that I command you on the mountain of Ebal, and plaster them with lime. And you shall build there an altar before Yah your Allah, an altar of stone. See?
Yes.
An altar of stone.
Yeah.
Not lifting up iron upon it. With perfect stones ye shall build an altar to Yah your Allah, and offer sacrifices upon it before Yah your Allah. And you shall immolate the consecrated victims and eat there, and rejoice before Yah your Allah. Now we have to go to Ebal.
So, as we can see, we must return back to Jordan because we're starting off from where we left off.
Same point.
To do this the right way. So the steps are, we have to come here, get regroup, reestablish, and all that is which is required preparation. All those things we need to do here. And once we accomplish this step, then we can go to the next step and go to Ebal and erect the stone. So we see there is a process and steps that we must take. It ain't no, oh, you leave from there and then go straight into the land. There's an actual direct instruction and order of how we are to do this. And if we can't accept this way, then you're a rebel. Is that pretty much
Yep.
it? Got it. Oh my goodness. And then when you're not doing it this way, you're not the people.
Okay.
What you got to do? Okay.
Now, Mount Ebal or Har Ebal is in the vicinity in the area of Nablus. Okay? This is not difficult for me. This Nablus. Why? You know where my teacher and his family is from?
Nablus?
Nablus!
Isn't that the home of Abraham?
Yes. So, one step at a time, one day at a time. You shall build there an altar before Yah, your Allah, an altar of stone, not lifting up iron upon it. With perfect stones ye shall build an altar to Yah, your Allah, and offer sacrifices upon it before Yah, your Allah. You shall immolate the consecrated victims and eat there, and rejoice before Yah, your Allah. Upon the stones you shall write all the words of this law with deeply engraven and distinct writing, which shall be read in one language, but shall be interpreted in 70 language.
Whoa.
Okay? So upon Har Ebal in Nablus, when we go over, we get this land, you have to put this stone up with the 10 words. And then this stone, you have to have, it's read in one language, the 10 words, but it's translated into 70. You see?
Yes, sir.
So the Rosetta type stone, we have to set that on Har Ebal. Abel, the mountain of Abel. Right? Abel. All right. And Moses and the priests, the sons of Levi, spake with the people, saying, Listen, O Israel, and hear this day, today, are you to be a people chosen before Yah, your Allah. Today. Hearken therefore to the word of Yah, your Allah, and perform his commandments, which I command you today, this day. And Moshe instructed the people that day, in his time, saying, These tribes shall stand to bless the people on the mountain of Gerizim when you have passed the Jordan. Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Yosef, and Benjamin. Okay? So 6 tribes. In that time, they put 6 tribes on the mountain of Gerizim. And these tribes shall stand to pronounce the curses on the mountain of Ebal. Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. Okay? And the Levites proclaimed and said to every man of Israel with a high voice, 6 tribes shall stand on Mount Gizarine, and 6 tribes on Mount Ebal, and the ark and the priests and the Levites in the midst. In the blessing they shall turn their faces towards Mount Gizarine, and say, Blessed shall be the man who maketh not an image or form, or any similitude which is an abomination before Yah, the work of the craftsman's hands, who placeth not such in concealment. So the blessed is the man who doesn't take the work of a craftsman and make it his way. Okay? And he doesn't conceal these ideas, these tenets, this work. Okay? You don't make an image, a form, or any similitude. That's why it says, even in your mind, to even conceal it. Okay? In cursing, they shall turn their faces toward Mount Ebal and say, Accursed be the man who maketh an image, figure, or any similitude, which is an abomination before Yah, the work of the craftsman's hand, or who places such in concealment. Right? This to make an image or figure and any similitude which is an abomination. Cursed is this man. It can be an idea. That's the problem with the mystical sky nigga. It's not promised you in the law. The law is the foundation of everything. The law says the instructions will save you. Follow the instructions. And you're looking for somebody, mystical sky nigga, to be the savior of the people. And the law promised you somebody will be raised up and they will follow the steps. That's the end. And all of them shall respond together and say, Amen. Accursed is he who contemns the honor of his father or his mother, and all of them shall answer together and say, Amen. Accursed, so the person who contemns, right? The person who speaks against everybody from Abraham down. You contemn against your father and your mother. This is your father's house. This is what your father has commanded. The house start with him. Cursed. Amen. Accursed is he who shall transfer the boundary of his neighbor, and all of them shall answer together and say, Amen. So again, if you transfer the boundary of your neighbor, if you move your borders, this is a curse to you. Amen. If you are an Israelite and you are trying to obtain land outside of that which is covenanted and promised to you to inherit, curse to you there too. I'm telling you right now. Amen. Accursed is he who causes the pilgrim who is like the blind. So the pilgrim who is like the blind. So again, the Most High says I think it's in Ezekiel or Jeremiah, he says, they that come will be blind and lame. The pilgrim who is like the blind. So that prophecy now attached to this prophecy, because you are traveling here, you know you are blind. You don't know.
Yes.
You are just following an instruction to get started. This is your faith. Cursed is the one who causes the pilgrim who is like the blind to wander from the way. So anybody telling you to wander away from this path of keeping this law, to tell you don't come to the land, to tell you don't give to the building of the sanctuary, to come here to live. Anybody causing you as an Israelite to wander from the way, and is accursed. And all of them shall say together, Amen. Accursed be he who perverteth the judgment of the stranger, the widow, and the fatherless. So if you seek to misconstrue this law as it is perfect for your benefit, over and above the widow, the fatherless, and the stranger, for your own personal gain, accursed are you. And they shall answer together and say, Amen. Accursed is he who has sex with his father's wife, because he uncovereth his father's skirt. Sleep, all of you and your father have slept with the same woman, accursed are you. And all shall answer together and say, Amen. Accursed is he who lies with a beast. And all shall say together, Amen. Accursed is he who lies with his sister, the daughter of his father or mother. So the person who has sex with their father, with their sister, the father or the mother side, and all of them shall answer together and say, Amen. Accursed is he who shall lie with his mother-in-law. So the person who sleeps with their mother-in-law is accursed. And all shall answer together and say, Amen. Accursed is he who attacketh his neighbor with slander in secret. And all shall answer together and say, Amen. Accursed is he who receiveth hire to kill and to shed innocent blood. And all shall answer together and say, Amen. The 12 tribes, each and every, shall pronounce the blessing altogether, and the curses altogether. In blessing, they shall turn their faces in pronouncing word by word toward Mount Gerizim, and shall say, Blessed is the man who confirmeth the words of this law to perform them. Blessed is the man.
That's what it says. The man. Yes, it's the man.
The man who confirms, walks in it, does it, proves it consistently, day in, day out, does not turn to the right or the left, confirms this word, and to perform them. He is blessed. In cursing, they shall turn their faces towards Mount Ebal and say, Accursed is the man who confirmeth not the words of this law to perform them. So this one, this what the law I teach, this the law I live by. That's why there's nobody to debate me. That's why there's nobody who can contend with me. Because this law curses you. So now you've been told numerous of times this day to make a decision to give and to build this sanctuary. You know who you are. You, everybody, I'm an Israelite. Now you Israelites. You, here. Here's the law. I'm reading it to confirm it. This is the blessing from confirming this law, to obey it and live it on this land. You can be blessed or you can be cursed today. So cursed is the man who confirmeth not the words of this law to perform them. And all shall answer together and say, Amen. These words were spoken at Sinai and repeated in the tabernacle of ordinance, and again the third time on the plains of Moab in 12 sentences, 12 words. And the word of every tribe, each several commandment, was thus ratified by 36 adjurations. Now, the word adjuration, right, is a urge or request solemnly and earnestly to do something. So I have adjured you this day to obey. And tomorrow we'll start off with chapter 8, and we will continue with the adjurations. Okay? It's good that we did chapter 27. You see that?
Yeah.
So the ones who don't confirm this word, they cursed. Now, eat that. Chew on it. One step at a time, one day at a time.
One